Hello, guys. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Happy weekend. And it's really a great privilege to be here again. And to all our new viewers, is if this is your first time joining us live on this show, you all are welcome. Welcome, 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 wherever you are watching us from. And for the people that will be watching the replay of this live stream, you also are all welcome. It's still Ginseng Matters with Roy. And guys, today is another opportunity to learn, relearn, and unlearn from different aspects of life, especially this season where we've been talking about marriage issues, matters relating to marriage. And today is going to be another interesting one. So, if you can see me clearly and you can hear me clearly well, don't hesitate to share this video out to your friends, your family members, your colleagues, your siblings, and any other person that you know could benefit greatly from this discussion. It's still Ginseng Matters with Roy. Tell them that yes, we are live. And as you can see from the screen before you guys, I am not the only one here today. I have this amazing couple with us, our special guests for today's conversation. Please, guys, join me in welcoming this amazing couple, Dr. and Dr. Mrs. Bolaji. Thank you very much, Sai and Emma, for the privilege to have you with us again on the platform today. So, for the sake of people who do not know you and those people that will be joining us for the first time today, please kindly introduce yourself and tell us any other thing that you know that you would like us to know about you. Over to you, Sai and Ma.
Okay, thank you, our host. We appreciate you for this program. My name is Fola Bolaji, and I have here with me Bumi, and we are both residing in Boston, Massachusetts, in United States, and we have both been computer practitioners over the years, and we are happy to be here once again to share, to gist, to talk with our friends. Happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. Thank you very much, Sai and Ma, for that brief introduction. So, guys, as you can see from the flyer and from the topic before us today, we are looking at something practical, something real, something that has been happening, that happen frequently in homes. Whether as in, it happens unintentionally, things that you did not even plan for at all. And guys, today we are talking about love under pressure. Wondering what that means? Come along with us, and by the time we'll be through with this conversation, I'm sure you will have learned one or two things from the discussion. So, if you'll be joining us live or watching the replay, you can as well share your contributions, your comments, your views, your opinions with us in the comment section below. So, back to the discussion. We're looking at love under pressure. What does it feel like when the spouses, maybe one of the partners, is under pressure? Pressure from work, pressure from family members, pressure from relatives, pressure from anywhere, just under pressure. And then here is the other partner at home. Uh Unintentionally, because as a result of the pressure you're passing through, you're experiencing, you pass on these you begin to react unintentionally to your partner, and the other person is the one suffering it. In situations like these, how do we manage it? What is expected of the person under pressure, and what is also expected of the of the person being pressurized? No, not the person, not the person being pressurized, but the person at the receiving end. What should be their reactions such that there will be less friction? Of course there will be friction in the home at in times like this, but in times like this there can be measures, there are things that can be done to reduce friction such that the peace of the home is not jeopardized. That's the essence of our, that's what we are going to be looking at today. Welcome once again, guys. Okay, so I think we'll be starting with is it Profola or Sister Bomi?
You want to
I think
start?
Hello.
maybe.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, thank you for this topic, and this is a very important topic. And one thing I want to mention from the start, from the beginning, is the fact that there are many topics that are relevant to our lives at different stages or phases of our lives. But the reality is, for achieving purpose, you will always be under pressure at one point in time or the other. Life itself comes with a lot of pressures. There are pressures now that are relevant to us that may not be relevant to the host. There are pressures that are relevant to the host, but they are not relevant to us. We are all at different stages of our marriages. And then we need to train ourselves on how to respond in terms of pressure. We need to train ourselves, we need to harm ourselves, we need to be prepared so that when some of these challenges are coming, then you'll be able to respond appropriately. So if you are talking about pressures, there are different kind of pressures. Pressure from work, pressure from studies, pressure from children, pressure from home arrangement, pressure from families, pressure from visitors, pressure from the status. You want to be in the same status with your colleagues or with your peers. There
In
are
fact,
different
hormonal pressure.
hormone pressure. That's another thing. In fact, age pressure or growth pressure. As things are changing for you, they come with different baggages of pressures. So these are very, very relevant to everybody, regardless of wherever you are in your marriage growth or the marriage journey. So I love this topic, and I want us to get into the specific as soon as possible so that our people can also reason with us and share with us and learn. Like we always say, we learn, we unlearn, and we relearn.
Lion.
So, and that's the sense of this platform. Let's share practical examples. Let's talk about the specifics, and then let's get to the bottom of it. So,
Well said.
Okay, so like Profola initially said, there are different sources of pressure, guys. Honestly, there are different sources of pressure. Pressures that you don't even expect that will even show up in the marriage. That's why this discussion is even very, very important for the singles that are planning their journey, their marital journey, and even it's equally important for those people that are already in the marital journey. Yeah, so let's talk about I think we can consider maybe one or two or three sources of pressure, and then as we continue then we can discuss on ways to manage these pressures in the home. So maybe I think we can start with pressure of from work, pressure of trying to meet up with, oh, this is my age, I need to have accomplished this, I need to have, this is not the salary I'm supposed to be earning at this particular time. As we all know that the world is really, really moving at a fast pace, and the pressure is there. Things are becoming expensive. The husband is thinking, the wife is also thinking, oh, I need to like skill up, get something doing in order to command extra income, and then trying to meet up with different responsibilities in order to be able to manage the finances of the home. This kind of pressure is coming up, and the wife is also there. So I think we should look at this and ways to manage this kind of pressure.
okay. So let me start. So I want to add to it. We are talking about pressure from work or
Mhm.
pressure related to work, because I wanted to add that as even now that as we are talking, there are some pressure now. Some people that are at their marriage reception now that are thinking, oh, is the food going to
The
be
food
enough?
is not enough.
The guests. There are some people that are planning different kind of pressure. So pressure from work. So yeah, so like the host has as mentioned, um, for every one of us as we grow, we get to a level that we need to evaluate ourselves. Am I function optimally? Am I where I'm supposed to be? And as a result of that, we want to put in more effort, more activities to make sure that we are getting the due promotions that we need per time. So now it now depends on the kind of career every one of us find ourselves in. But every form of career also have things that are called promotion. You want to move to the next stage. If you're a senior manager, if you're a manager today, you want to become a senior manager, you want to become director, you want to become senior director, you want to become executive director, and the likes. So pressures will always come because this world is very competitive. Things are moving at competitive rate. Even if you're a CEO, if you have your own enterprise, you have your own company, then you still want to outshine the other people. So you are under pressure every now and then. Then for a child of God, for people that are married, then we need to begin to calibrate. What level of pressure do I want to put myself under that will not scatter my home, that will not make my kids to suffer, that will not make my spouse to suffer? If we cannot draw those boundaries, then we begin to have problems. That is where we need to talk about is source. That will always be constant pressure at work because you need to move, you need to perform, you need to even outperform your colleagues. Not totally about competitive performance, but at least to perform at your optimal so that you will be able to present yourself as a worthy person that is ready for promotion or for the next level. And if you are going to do that, this may require you to do some further studies, to do some further research, to put in more hours of work, to put in more time. And this has to be balanced because if this is not balanced, and the temptation there is you don't even know when you are overspending time in order to move forward at your work. Some people are having 18 hours put in into their daily job and they'll be sleeping for 6 hours and they will expect other things to automatically fix themselves. Those things, life does not work that way, and we need to address it. So let me, for the sake of time, submit.
Oh, well, I think we are talking about pressure from work, and sometimes I see it as a bell curve. When you first of all enter into like a stage at work, you are the least portion of the rung, so the pressure is going to be a little bit reduced. Then you start putting in a lot of effort, then you become an high performer. But then, if you're going to be ready for the next level, if you are not careful, if you stay too much on that level of performance, then you become like, well, this person has been in this position for 4 years and they've been doing like the same thing. So it doesn't look like you are doing enough. And so at that time, you are put under the pressure of doing much more than you were doing. Like they will always say, you get to the next level by already performing at the next level in your current level. So, and like Brofola said, a part of that can be like number of hours you're spending on your work. Ideally, you're working for maybe a day, but some of these things you're meant to achieve, you cannot actually really achieve them if you just put in 8 hours a day. I remember reading it somewhere that Elon Musk said nobody can achieve what he is currently achieving as a worker by putting in 8 hours a day. It's just not natural. So if you really want to stay at the competitive edge, there will be things that you are going to put into. Like, so the pressure will continue to go up and down. Like it's like a curve. You have pressures at some point, you acclimatize to that role. After a while, the pressure start building up because you want to get to the next level. And that is where like the pressure continue to increase. For some other people, the current pressure they are having at work can be from their bosses.
Yeah.
Like there are just some bosses who have just expectations that are very hard to meet. Now, if you are working with some of those bosses, whether you're performing well at your level or not, their expectations are just so high that it puts you under constant pressure. So sometimes the pressure can be coming from the bosses, sometimes the pressure can be coming from the state of the economy. Like currently, the economy is not like smiling all over the world, and people are under pressure. People don't know whether they are going to be laid off tomorrow or not. So instead of sitting satisfied to say, "Well, I'm fine with my job," they are also quickly looking out for another job, or trying to like prepare themselves for that other job in case something happens to their current job. So there are different like sources of those pressures at work as well. And another thing that came to mind is like for people who are living like in big cities, commute can be a lot of pressure, because instead of putting in the 8 hours that others put in, maybe because they work remotely or their office is just 5 minutes drive away from their house, you are putting in extra 3 hours, 1.5 hours, 2 hours just for commute, and that itself can be a source of pressure. So there are different sources of pressure, like the state of your work, the people you are working with, the team where you find yourself. Sometimes it may be that it's not just like the best team that supports your personality or that supports the same way you work, even when nothing is wrong with you. It's just that the team is not like the best for you. So there are different sources of pressure that can come in the place of work. And like you have taken a step into how to solve it, I think one just have to first of all look at what is the source of this
What's
pressure,
the
how
pressure?
much of it you want to entertain and stuff like that.
Wow. Thank you very much, Sai and Ma, for these contributions. So now, considering the pressure from work, how can this be managed in the home such that the wife or the husband is not indirectly affected, and even the kids at home? Because the husband or the wife who is being pressurized indeliberately, unintentionally begins to pass on some like reacts in the home, and everyone is like, oh, what's wrong, what's happening? So in situations like this, in order to prevent the marital relationship being affected as a result of work pressures, financial pressures, what are the little things that can be done, that practical things that couples can do in order to keep the love between them intact?
Okay. Do you want to start?
You already
Okay.
started, so
So yeah, two things are coming to mind as you are raising those questions, and the first thing is conversation. If the husband and wife are open to themselves and every day they make plans together, it's really going to help their understanding, because understanding matters a lot. So these are my schedule for the day. Oh, I'm likely to be late today because we have an extended meeting. This is my calendar. Share your calendar, be open, and then make arrangement for each day such that there will not be lapses. And if there are lapses, they are not going to be constant. So conversation between husband and wife is very, very important. Not that the husband will just leave the home, I'm going to work, and by 5, maybe the husband is supposed to be back, you didn't see him. Maybe he's supposed to be back 6. What is happening? You call, I'm busy, I'm busy, I'm busy. And by the time the husband comes around 7:30, then he's even coming frowning the face and all those kind of things. What happened? Will, just leave me now, just leave me for now, just leave me for that is not a good family. That's not a good relationship. You need to communicate. If something is going to change about your work, you need to communicate. Text message, phone call. Things are coming up. Things are not going to be. You just don't need to both face it as if nothing is going to be affected. Communication. Converse with yourself. Plan the day together. Plan the week together. Plan the month together. Is very, very important. Then another thing, the second thing that's coming to mind is discipline. It takes a lot of effort to discipline yourself, that extra work from your job will not be filtering into your family life. A lot of discipline, because suddenly you can be at home and, oh, this thing I was trying to do at work that didn't work. Oh, let me quickly bring it up. And before you know it, you bring the laptop, you begin to work, and then you disenfranchise all the family members. So we can be tempted into those as much, but let's try to grow and discipline ourselves. It may not be something that will happen instantly. It may be something that we work towards, and gradually we begin to phase out work requirements in terms of how it's affecting our family, how it's affecting our spouses, how it's affecting our children. Let's begin to get discipline over this. So that is my recommendation.
Thank you, sir.
That recommendation is a little tough.
Stuff. Cool stuff.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm going to say one very important thing is also prioritization. And it will look like maybe discipline, but like being able to prioritize um what is important at this time and be able to like follow it up. So like say for example, like the kind of example I was trying to give, like sometimes you are solving a problem. So I'm going to be talking from like a developer's perspective where you're like running into bugs and you don't know why the bug is coming. Now it takes a lot of discipline to be able to just block your mind and say that I'm not going to think about it, because your subconscious mind is continuously trying to solve that problem. Like you're trying to, why am I getting this error? Like, why is this error coming? Now, where I see, well, discipline is being able to be like, now I'm cooking and I'm cooking. But then sometimes the miracle happens when you're actually cooking. That is when something just like, oh, can it be like this function or can it be like in this function and stuff like that? So I would say that part of the discipline is also being able to prioritize. Well, I'm going to check that when the kids have gone to bed or
Yeah.
something like
That's
that. Being
not
able to be like, well,
notice for
this
the future.
time, yeah, we'll just like, I'm just going to like just quickly take a note on the phone to be like, check this and maybe this is it or something like that, and that is how it's going to be. Then I also want to say that sometimes the pressure in our work are growth pains, and it's a different kind of pressure when it's a growth pain, like you're trying to grow. It's a natural cause or challenge for your role and you want to grow, then you have that growth pain pressure. Now, s- for me, I think the way I work, and I believe it should be between spouses, is I am not working for me, I am working for us. So if I fail at my job, we both fail. It's not that my job is now like the most important thing and I cannot fail because if I fail at my job, I failed. No, I did not fail. I'm working for us. And since I'm working for us, we should both have the understanding of this is the this is the current challenge that we have at work. And I think that boils down back to what he said before about communication. My spouse should know what I'm going through at work. So if you are developing a policy and your boss is constantly rejecting it, or it's like this is not up to, and you need to give extra attention to this, or you need to take this training to be able to produce something better, my spouse should know that I'm going through that growth pains, which cause for us to spend extra time on this activity. So both of us know that there's something going on. And whether we like it or not, except we'll be transferring the aggression, even the kids will know that these days that is just talk to his computer. Like he's not even thinking about anything, it's just computer and computer. But the communication that we have, we make it easy for the other spouse to be like, Daddy has to get this thing out of the way, and that's why he's doing this for this time, and everybody understands. So that transparency, like it shouldn't be that my husband does not know what's going on at my work or my wife does not know. We should both know, because we are working for us. It's not like I have something that I'm building for just me, so that I'm putting extra time for just me. So we are all in this together. So the transparency should be there.
Wow. Thank you very much, sir and Ma, for these contributions. Now we've considered pressure from work, and we've seen that some of the ways to manage pressure from work in the home is, like Profala said, communication, and like Sister Bumi said, that prioritization matters as well. I think this will really, really go a long way in helping to solve the issue of work pressures. How about pressure from family members? Pressure from extended family members, from in laws, and it's really telling on either of the partners. And as a result of these, everyone is beginning to feel it in the home. But what can be done? The home is there, the marriage has come to stay. There are things that should be done in order not to jeopardize or affect the love between, especially the love between the man and the woman, the husband and the wife, rather.
So, yeah, there are a lot of questions around that because love and culture differs. And coming from a culture where we depend on one another in terms of the extended family, then we need to treat this and we need to be careful about this because this is sensitive. The reality is there could be different kind of pressure from the extended family. Are we talking about pressure about finances? Are we talking about pressure about responsibilities? Are we talking about pressure about, oh, how is it going with your family? Do you have kids yet? What steps have you taken? All of so there could be different kind of pressure. But one thing that we need to understand, except for evil person in our extended family, everybody in our extended family will want us to be successful. They will want our marriage to be successful. But then we could have some people that probably don't want it that way. And that is where we need to begin to find a way to balance the situation. There are different responses that you give to individual within your extended families based on what they are looking for or what they are targeting. If over the time, because you will know your member, you know the husband will know the members of his family more than his wife. The wife will know the members of her family more than the husband. You treat individual member of your family based on what you have observed over the years. You cannot give the same response to everybody. Maybe an extended member of the family wants you to just want you to be spending money on him or her every now and then. Don't say no. Every time I need, just send to me. Just send to me. That is showing that, oh, this is not the way to go. We need to help this person. Let's help him to be balanced so that he will not be at this stage. If you have tried to help and he doesn't want to be balanced, then you know that you have tried your best. That is one example. There are some that they just have a midlife crisis, not what they are planning for. You need to go extra mile to help your family members. At the same time, there has to be agreement between husband and wife that this is the step we want to take. You don't need to yield to pressure unnecessarily to scatter your own immediate family. No, you need to come to the level of agreement, level of understanding, and maintain the love in the family. Because what kind of peace do you want to keep in your extended family and the peace is missing in your own home, where you sleep daily, where you feed daily, where you are planning for the future of the family or children? So it's very, very important to draw a balance, understand the kind of people that you are dealing with. Do you have people that are very furious? Do you have people that when you say no, they will throw tantrums? Then you need to wisdom on how to deal with individuals. At the same time, balancing the love that is existing between you and your spouse. So until there are more specific situations, I may not be able to say more. Some
Yeah, I'm also like taking a little time to tread carefully here because I but my assumption is that pressure from family members are going to cause issues in the home only when there's conflict of interest. So, for example, if somebody is giving me pressure from my family, if I'm in agreement with my husband, it shouldn't affect our relationship because there's no conflict of interest between us. But when there's conflict of interest of, let's say, for example, someone needs financial help, and I believe that we should, this is my sister, we need to like be there for her. We need to like spend all this money. And my spouse is like, no, we don't have that much money to spend. Like we can spend half. Or if you it's because she has like all the ones we have done in the past. It's always gone down the drain. So it's that this person needs to change something. So when we now have that conflict, then I believe that pressure can cause a problem in our relationship. But if we don't have like that conflict of interest in between us, I don't think pressure from
Extended family
extended family
should be an issue.
should, yeah, except for the example of
Yeah, I
maybe we
think
don't.
most times the prayers from the extended family is mostly financial pressure. Give us this, give us this, the mostly financial pressure. And for example, if the pressure is coming from maybe the husband's family, and then the wife at home is like, oh, like Sister Bumi said, most times it's always as a result of conflict of interest. And the husband is always wanting to support his own family members, but when it comes to giving to the wife's family members, then misunderstanding takes place. Or possibly it can even be the other way around. The wife always wants to give to her own members, but when it comes to giving to the husband's family members, then there always be complaints. I think this kind of prayer. Meanwhile, the pressure is always coming up. Oh, we need this. Oh, maybe you need to support your sibling. You need to support this particular family. Things like that. Most times is always financial pressure. So as a result of this, when the other partner is not supporting the the other spouse, then it's like, oh, okay, then the both of us will not will not enjoy peace in this home until this is attended to. So, and gradually things like this breaks, like it affects the love bond between the husband and the wife. So this mostly the financial pressure,
Yeah.
not
I want
even
to
responsibilities.
make a contribution. I was just smiling because I remember something. I was teaching a class yesterday and I showed a video to the students I was teaching. And that video is funny because the husband and wife were expecting baby, and I believe they were located in a country in Africa, and they invited the mother-in-law on both sides, the mom of the wife and the mom of the husband, to announce that they are expecting baby and they are going to the UK where they will be to have to deliver the baby and to raise the baby for some time, and that they want to announce to them that just one of them will be able to go with them for taking what they call omugo. And that was when the moms begin to throw tantrum that, yeah, I raised you for 9 months. Yeah, you remember not doing well. I did everything to make you do. So then the husband and wife announced that, okay, yeah, one person will go with us. The other person that's not going, we are going to transfer 5,000 euro to her account. And that was how the mother began to read. Oh yeah, I have program at the church, and I had to be back home. I cannot travel with you. And the other woman also started doing it. But what I'm trying to bring out is selfishness sometimes can ruin relationship even amongst us. Sometimes you think about your own people, you don't think about the people, or you don't think about your in-law. That is wrong. Sometimes you feel your own people should be treated better. Everybody, we are all naturally created selfish. We think about ourselves first. But when it comes to marriage, it's not just about you. Two have become one. As you are thinking about yourself, you are thinking about your spouse. As you are thinking about your spouse needs, you are thinking about your needs. If we are able to drive down selfishness in marriage, request even from ex or from extended family is not likely going to become a problem. Just like Sabu said the other time, if there is no conflict of interest, if you both husband and wife have been able to balance their interest such that one is not elevating himself or herself better than the other party, then it will be easy to agree that okay, let's take care of this situation. Yeah, it's true that some family may have greater needs than the other, but that does not remove the fact that everybody is seeking for his or her own. So it's very, very important that the family that is concerned, which is the nuclear family, husband and wife, must first get themselves right. must first drive down their own selfish thinking so that there will not be conflict of interest before they can meet the needs of other. So that's just the emphasis I want to put.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I think another thing that came to my mind when I was thinking about this, like this pressure from family members, can also be due to difference in cultural understanding. That can also cause a lot of pressure. Like in some cultures, there are ways that you talk to elders. In some other cultures, like they don't like. It's okay to say, "Mommy, go and do that" or something, and the other person is feeling insulted or feeling. So sometimes there can be that pressure in the relationship, and I'm just thinking that when there are differences in culture, like if you're going into that kind of marriage, you should be prepared for learning. Each person should be ready to learn from the other people's ways of doing their things, because if you don't embrace the way they do things, sometimes there can be problems that are just coming in the relationship because of that. And this goes beyond just tribal differences. Sometimes cultural differences can be within the same tribe but different settings of home. So, for example, someone is from a large family where you have like 12 kids. Or maybe three wives, 12 kids, and stuff like that. And the other person is coming from just two of us, daddy and mommy, and that nuclear family. Now, there will definitely be differences in the way you see things, the way you approach issues, the way
Yeah,
your life is structured, the way family members behave,
yeah,
or that kind of a thing. So, I think, like we said, one of the important things that we emphasize is learning and relearning and unlearning. So, when you're going into a relationship or marriage, you should be ready, you should have the posture of being able to learn and see from other people's point of view as well.
Wow. Interesting. Now you've been able to consider the work prayer from work, prayer from extended family members, from in-laws. How about hormonal pressure? Hormonal pressure when maybe the wife is aging, maybe menopause is setting in, or
yeah,
possibly even before that, the monthly periods or things like that. The wife is under pressure. Meanwhile, the husband is also there. We need to meet in the other room. So in situations like this, the wife is not just at all. She's not even ready at all. But at the same time, this is also a pressure. It is a pressure, hormonal pressure. How can this be managed such that the husband will understand, the wife would not want to jeopardize the love relationship, the marriage relationship, the love bond between the husband and the wife?
yeah. So that's a very, very important topic. Now that you know it, maybe you have something jam. So
No, it's
yeah, that's a very important topic, and that calls for a lot of responsibilities. Two things: responsibility and sacrifice. Responsibility in the time in terms of husband and wife doing their own due diligence to understand what is going on, because ignorance is one of those things that is causing trouble in marriage. When I don't know what my wife is going through, when even she does not know what she's going through,
yeah.
even when she doesn't understand why am I reacting this way. We are talking about, okay, if we have a girl of 10 years, 12 years, 13 years beginning to see menstruation when she has not been prepared for it, there'll be a lot of confusion. So those are the kind of things that you begin to see a young boy growing up and begin to notice some differences in his body and what is this and that kind of thing. So even in marriage, we are all growing as we are here to educate ourselves. Let's understand how our hormone changes, how our body system changes. So when the husband understands and the wife understands, then they'll be able to prepare for challenges that may come as a result of these changes in our hormone system. When I understand that, oh, my wife is going through a phase, I need to give her a level of support. That is not when I begin to make unreasonable demands. That's not when I will begin to expect that she should function optimally. There are methods to all these things. There are solutions to all these things. That's the reason why I said responsibility. Take responsibility to whatever is happening to your spouse. Take responsibility of how can I help? What is even happening to me? Study, understand, make research, listen to people, make relationship, understand how body system varies and how they respond to different changes in the hormone system. That is one. Then the sacrifice is a part of when I understand that there could be changes, then you should be willing to sacrifice. The husband should be willing to sacrifice. You may have sexual urges, you may have all those things. You know that, oh, because of this current situation that we're facing, no, I should be able to deny myself some time. The wife should also be ready to sacrifice. Sometimes some things may not even be convenient, but you go extra miles so that at least you let your spouse know that nah, I'm trying my best. Though this is not convenient for me, but I will still do my best to sacrifice. When both of them are saying sacrifices at each end, then they'll be willing to work with one another and they'll be able to work with themselves and get to where they need to be. So that is my whole feeling about changes in the hormone. Responsibility, learn what is happening, study what is happening, make researches, and then sacrifice, knowing that there may be some changes in the way you expect things to be.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, and I also want to say that I like the point that Brafola made about the fact that the person going through and hormonal pressure may not know what they're actually going through, because it's easy to assume that that person knows, but that person does not know. I remember when growing up, so I grew up in a house filled with ladies. So when growing up, sometimes some people will just like maybe come in from school and you're like, I was going, like they just behave sort of touchy. And two of us can just like start laughing and be like, I think something is not balanced today, or something like that, because this person is going through a particular period in their menstrual cycle. And one thing that is one thing that like usually like sometimes once a while myself and my husband talks about it is it's difficult for a man to understand the number of imbalances and things that happen in the cycle of a woman because he's a man. And it's also difficult for me to understand what everything is going through because I'm a woman. I've never like had those experiences before. Just like just that like for women, there are just too many things going on at the same time sometimes. Like somebody just gave birth to a child, something is happening. If you begin to use like hormones for birth control,
Mm.
your body has hormonal imbalances from time to time. You may just not be conscious about it. So, like I'm saying, the knowledge of it is not like I understand everything my body is going through. No, I don't. And another side I want us to bring to it is because sometimes when we are talking of hormonal issues, we think menopause, we think menstrual, we think all of these big names. But adrenaline itself is an hormone. That's just one of numerous hormones that affect us. So, for example, if I see in the news that Google just laid off 1,500 people, and I'm a staff of Google, or maybe I'm not, but I'm a staff of a sister company,
That is
something in
dependent
me
on
that
Google.
is something in me is thinking of flight. Am I to flee or stay? Like, there is just, and I don't have absolute control over that. And let's picture it this way: when you talk mental health issues, what are they using to control mental health problems? Chemicals. So they give you a chemical that goes into your body to replace something or to condition something. And where do we get our regular chemicals? They come from the food we eat. They come from what our body is making
And the medicine that
and the
many people are
medicine we
using.
take. And then the environment, which is our body, dictates how the chemical reactions will. So different people will have different reactions to different chemicals. So myself and my husband can use the same medicine. When the medicine, let's say for example, just coffee, maybe if he takes coffee without sugar, he's not able to sleep. If me, I take it with, I'm just using this as an example. For another body, the person takes the coffee with sugar, with milk, they are still not able to sleep. But in his own case, if he takes it with sugar and milk, he sleeps as if he didn't even take coffee at all. That's different body reacting differently to the same chemical that we have both taken. So this is a very complex situation. And like we say, the work of God are complex, and that is why they are amazing. But how do we enjoy that complexity? By just being in awe, being grateful, having that attitude of we are a team. So
Yeah.
if I see us as a team, if my husband comes in and today and he's like "Ooh, just frowning and stuff like that, knowing that we are a team and he's not my enemy,
Yeah.
I know that maybe something is going, and we can just laugh like we do when I was younger with my sister. To be like, It's just touching for a moment. We think it's don't go down or something like that." So I think it's important that couples have that posture of like we are a
Same posture.
team.
Yeah.
So if we are a team, we are in this together.
Together.
No matter what he's going through, no matter what I'm going through, no matter what is going on in his body. If she's saying, I'm feeling so hot, don't say, the AC is on. You should know that
Something is going on
something is
internally
going on in this body that is not
that is
affecting
not.
you.
Yeah.
So yeah. So and is a part is and part of his body is part of my body.
Just
So
remember that that's the reason why some ladies will decide to punish their husband when they are pregnant. Go and buy this. Go and buy that. I'm
because
feeling it. I'm not even feeling it. The other
at
will
least
be
at
jumping
that
up and
time,
down.
the husband is conscious that something is going on in this body
But there are silent things that goes on in
every day.
individual bodies
Every day.
that we need to be
Yeah.
conscious about and understanding about. That's the
Mhm.
reason why the people recommend dwell with your spouse with understanding.
Understanding.
Dwell with your wife
Understanding.
with understanding. Understanding takes a lot. Studying, listening, researching, going after information,
Mhm.
and then over time, you understand.
Yeah.
Wow. Interesting. Thank you very much, Sir Enma, for your wonderful contributions. Today we have Mrs. Omotayo Grace Oluwaseun Ajiboro with us. She's saying, "Well done, ma'am and sir." Thank you very much, Mrs. Omotayo, for your contribution and for joining us on the platform today. All right, guys, without wasting much of our time, we'll be bringing today's episode to a close. But just before then, as we've always done, something to take home, to, a takeaway for all our viewers watching us for today's episode before we bring everything to a close.
So, one thing I would like to say is life happens. And Bible says if you faint in the day of battles,
Yes,
your
it is.
strength is small. So
Yes.
you need to get more strength.
Yes.
So finally, expect the best, but prepare for the worst. Be hopeful, have faith that things are going to work very fine. At the same time, make preparation when things are not going to work the way you expect. That is my second point.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I thought that was going to be my take home, but that's great. I will just
So
say
just
that
collaborate it.
yeah, that the Bible say that God will not allow things that are beyond us to come our way, right? Like even when the Bible used temptation as an illustration, but like everything in life, always looks for our best interest. So if you are going through it, God knows you can handle it. So yeah.
Wow. Thank you very much, Sai and Ma. It's really been an interesting discussion today. Loving under pressure. So, no matter the pressure you are passing through, Sir, no matter the pressure you are passing through, Ma, I'm talking to our viewers out there. Know that you've already signed this marriage, or you've already taken this step, and there is no going back. So you just need to look for a way to compromise, a way to sacrifice, a way to prioritize. And like we've discussed today, there are several ways to manage it. So you being under pressure is not an excuse for you to break the love bond between you and your spouse. And on this note, guys, we'll be bringing today's episode to a close. Guys, it's still Jane Say Matters with Roy. Thank you very much for joining us on the platform today, sir and Ma. We really, really appreciate it. And to all our viewers out there, thank you so much for making out time to join us today. Don't forget to share this video out to your friends, your siblings, your family members, colleagues at work, and any other person that you know could benefit greatly from today's discussion. Until we come your way again, keep watching JC Matters with Roy. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys. Bye for now.
Bye.
Jinsei Matters. Come back to Jinsei Matters on Jinsei Matters. It's Jinsei Matters. Yeah, it's still Jinsei Matters with Roy. It's still Jinsei Matters with Roy. Right now, it's Jinsei Matters. Come back to Jinsei Matters on Jinsei Matters. It's Jinsei Matters. Yeah, it's still Jinsei Matters with Roy. It's still Jinsei Matters with Roy.